Now, I know we're all honest people in this room, and if we happen to move our ball during search and we felt that it was maybe in the ground pretty far, we were going to wedge that ball back in there and recreate that line. But that's what the rules say. So if you move your ball during search accidentally, you can't move it on purpose, although you wouldn't be searching for it if you knew where it was. No problem, no penalty for moving it now, but just put it back where it was and recreate whatever lie you might thought it had before you moved it. So, my favorite change. No longer have to be very careful in the fall when searching for balls.
Saves time too.
Saves time. Another thing that we see is double hits. So if you hit a ball and then you keep continuing your stroke, maybe you hit it a second, third, maybe fourth time, I don't know. You double hit before, again, you were getting penalized for double hitting the ball, plus counting that stroke that you just made. That is now gone. Again, the ball's not going where you want it to go. Why should you be penalized even further? So you just count that one stroke, and it's one stroke, not however many times you hit the ball, and play the ball where it lies. So no penalty associated with this anymore. And again, it's accidental. So for all these trick shot people out here in the audience, you can't be flipping the ball up and hitting it a few times and then hitting it as far as you want. That is not allowed. You will be penalized for that. But accidental double hits are okay. No penalty, just play the ball where it lies for one stroke. So they've relaxed the requirements now too. So in bunkers, there's more things we can do. For instance, we're now allowed to move loose impediments in bunkers. We don't need local rules to move pebbles or anything that might harm you when making a stroke. You can now move leaves, you can move stones, you can move twigs. Be very careful not to move your ball, because you will be penalized still if you cause your ball to move. But go ahead and clean things up around your ball to give you a better shot at hitting it out of the bunker. So we'll see this here.
Under the 2019 rules, there is no penalty for moving loose impediments when your ball is in a bunker. However, some bunker restrictions continue to exist.
Please, if this is you, move them outside the bunker.
Yeah.
Don't throw them 2 feet for the next person who comes in the bunker. You don't have to, it's not part of the rules, but it'd be a nice courtesy thing to do. But you're now allowed to move loose impediments around your ball. Again, don't cause your ball to move, but you can now move things in the bunker, loose impediments. You can even touch the sand in a bunker as long as you're not testing. You can ground your club in a bunker as long as it's not right in front of or behind your ball. So if you go into a bunker, maybe someone else is playing, and you're just waiting, you don't have to stand there with a club in the air to make sure it doesn't touch the sand. You can lean on it, go ahead and rest against it, all okay. You can't test, so no taking practice strokes or digging maybe a rake in or something in to see how deep it is or what the conditions are. That's still not allowed, but grounding your club, as long as it's not in front of or behind the ball, are okay. So we'll see some of the things that you still cannot do in a bunker here.
Some bunker restrictions continue to exist. For example, you are still not allowed to touch the sand with your club, behind or in front of your ball, when making a practice swing, or when making your backswing.
So all things we couldn't do last year or the year before, and we still can't do them this year under the new rules. On the putting green, there's more things we can fix now. There's more things on the putting green, whether it's shoe marks or indentations, that we can now repair. We don't have to play the ball over those things, and we'll see kind of what we can now fix on the green, but we'll also talk about what you can't fix on the green.
The 2019 rules allow you to repair almost any damage on the putting green. In addition to ball marks and old hole plugs, you are allowed to repair spike marks and any other damage caused by shoes, repair animal damage, and repair damage caused by maintenance practices. The fixing and repairing of the putting green must be done promptly and must not improve your line of play beyond the repair of the damage.
So all these things we're now allowed to fix on the putting green. Ball marks, we could do that before, but shoe damage, that's new. We can go ahead and fix those if they come up or get indented. Any scrapes or indentations, we can go ahead and fix those now. Any old hole plugs or turf plugs, maybe if they're not in all the way, go ahead and level them out and fix them, that's okay. Seams of cut turf, same thing, go ahead and fix them. Animal tracks and indentations, I know when deer run across greens, they leave their hoof prints. Go ahead and fix those, maybe even dogs, if they leave their paw prints. And then embedded objects, go ahead and dig those objects out of the green and fix that hole that they left. All these things are now okay for you to fix. And you see here the things that are still kind of brighter, the new things that they've added into the rules that we can now go ahead and fix. Some things we can't fix still though, anything caused by normal maintenance practices, such as aeration holes or maybe vertical grooves from mowing, you can't fix those. Any effects of irrigation or rain or natural forces, you have to just leave those alone. Any natural surface imperfections, so if there's maybe some bad spots around the green, you can't try to fix them in any way, you just have to let them be. And then any natural wear of the hole. So if a hole hasn't been cut for a few days, it might get a little rough around the edges. That's something you just have to deal with. You can't try to fix that in any way. But if a player hits a ball into the side of the hole, go ahead and fix that. A player's caused that damage, you can fix it. They're more talking about that natural wear of the hole, whether it's through the course of the day or through maybe multiple days you can't touch. They've reduced penalties now on the putting green. You're now allowed to touch the line of play, whether it's a player or their caddy. You can actually touch the green and pointing out your line of play. So we'll see that here.
Under the 2019 rules, when you are assessing the line for your putt, there will be no penalty if your caddy or partner touches the putting green to point out where you should aim or how your putt will break. This includes touching the green with the flagstick.
So you can use the flagstick as we saw that caddy use, maybe it's your hand, maybe it's your club. Everything's okay. You can now touch the line of play on the putting green. As you saw there, you can't stay there and have someone aim at you. You can point it out and then you have to move away once that player begins to make their stroke or makes their stroke. And similar to that, you can't put something down around the green to aim for. If you strategically place your golf bag over here, because it's going to help you, you can't do that. That's kind of all under one umbrella. But partner, caddy can now point out a spot on the green for you to aim and even touch it if they want to, and there's no penalties associated with that. Accidental movement of a ball on the putting green. So this rule's for the putting green only. Don't get confused and think you can do this anywhere on the course and get away with it. This is on the putting green. And before, this was a local rule put in effect. I think it was Dustin Johnson. This is the Dustin Johnson rule. But if you accidentally move your ball on the putting green, it's okay. There's no penalty associated with it. You just replace it. And we'll see some of the ways you might move your ball on the putting green here with these examples.
Under the 2019 rules, if you accidentally move your ball or ball marker on the putting green, there is no penalty. For example, if you accidentally move your ball in making a practice swing or in preparing for your stroke, drop your ball marker on your ball and move it. Move your ball with your foot. Or cause your ball marker to move. There is no penalty, and you simply replace your ball or ball marker on its original spot.
So again, accidental, you can't do it on purpose, but if you're trying to do a practice swing, or maybe you're just putting your club behind the ball and you happen to hit it or tap it and it moves, you're not being penalized for that. Maybe you're walking up to your ball and not paying attention and you kick it, no problem, no penalty. Any accidental movement of your ball on the putting green, there's no penalty associated with it, and you're always going to replace it where it was before. So, and this is again the putting green only. Don't think you can get away with this anywhere else on the course. The putting green is kind of a more sacred place in the rules of golf, so this is one place where you're allowed to fix those accidental mistakes.
Even after address and grounding?
Even after addressing and grounding. Yep, as long as you were not intending to make a stroke and you just missed it, you're fine, no problem. So on the putting green as well, after you mark and lift your ball and then you replace it, if it moves, whether it was caused by you, or maybe it's a wind or some gravity maybe caused it to move, you're always going to replace it. So we'll see that example here with this player who puts the ball back and it mysteriously moves.
After you mark, lift, and then replace your ball on the putting green. If it moves for any reason, including through your own accidental actions, or for some other reason such as wind, always replace your ball back on its original spot. If you don't know the exact spot, estimate it as accurately as you can, and replace the ball there.
Some strong gust of wind that came through. But the point's there, if you mark your ball, and then go ahead, clean it, whatever, and you replace it, and you move away and it moves, whether you caused it or something miraculous happened like that, you own that spot because you marked it. You're always going to replace it. Now on the other side of that, let's say you hit a shot onto a really steep green, and it's up on the hill, it may roll back, you don't get to it in time, and it starts to roll. You haven't marked that ball, so you don't own that spot. You're going to play it from its new spot, whether it's, congratulations, it landed in the hole, you just got super lucky, or maybe it rolled off the green and now you have another shot that you didn't want to make, super unfortunate. So if you mark the ball and then you replace it and it moves, you own that spot from marking it, you're always going to replace it. If you hit a shot up to and it moves before you get to it and mark it, you're going to play it from its new spot, either for better or for worse. So those are kind of the two things to think about there.
Is that a new rule? It used to be that if you put a ball down and the wind blew it and it rolled down the hole.
I think it is,
you-
yeah, no, I think.
That is a new rule.
You played it from where the wind
Yeah,
blew it
no,
down.
that's-
Right, so the new part of this is the marking. Once you mark it, you're always going to replace it. So even if you mark it and then it rolls into the hole, you don't get that lucky shot. You have to replace it. So yeah, that's the new part to it. The other part's the same. And then again, it's okay to leave the flag stick in the hole, whether it's unattended, whether you're on the green, whether you're off the green. We'll see that here.
Under the 2019 rules, there is no penalty for hitting the flag stick that is in the hole when you played your stroke from off the putting green, or if you played your stroke from on the green. So if you want to leave the flag stick in the hole, perhaps to save time or because you think it helps you, there is no penalty if your ball hits it. If your ball is not holed, play it as it lies.
So I know Bryson DeChambeau has a whole list of reasons why he wants to leave the flag stick in the hole and a whole list of reasons why he wants to take it out. But that's really the whole idea here is it's up to the player. Does the player think it's going to help them? Fine, no problem. If they want it out because it's disturbing, that's okay too. It's the player's decision whether they want to leave the flag stick in or not, and the rest of the group just has to agree. You can't tell them no. You have to abide by it. So I know what some of you are thinking, and I'll just cover it. How is this going to save time if we're putting the flag stick in, taking it out, putting it in, taking it out? The answer I say to that is you're going to figure it out amongst your group within the first few holes, what the group kind of consensus is, what you're going to do. So I don't think it's going to be as big of a problem as you might see on paper. I think once you put it into practice, the group's going to figure out, okay, we're either going to leave it in or not, or maybe for certain shots you want it back in the hole, but that's all okay. I think it's all going to work itself out, and it's really not going to slow us down as much as we think. Any other questions about anything we've covered so far? No? Great. So we'll go into the flag stick a little bit more here and some of the significant changes with that, such as, again, there's no penalty for striking the flag stick accidentally, whether it's in the hole or not. You can choose to leave the flag stick in from anywhere, and then what happens if the ball is resting against the flag stick in the hole? What kind of consensus comes, or what decision comes out of that? So we'll start with, again, you're allowed to leave the flag stick in from anywhere, and there's no penalty if your ball strikes the flag stick. So if you strike it and it's left in the hole and it ricochets off, you're just going to play the ball as it lies. Or if a group takes it out and puts it to the side where they don't think anyone's going to hit it over here, and someone happens to hit the flag stick in that case, you're not getting penalized for that either if you hit it accidentally. You're just going to play the ball as it lies. What you can't do is put the flag stick in a spot to help you. So put it as a backstop. Maybe you're on a steep hill and your ball might roll off the green. Let me put it down here so it'll stop it.
Right.
Can't do that. But if your ball accidentally hits the flagstick, whether it's left in the hole or taken out on the green somewhere,